Hey, welcome to my weight loss journey series. This is week 1 of 51 with me losing 75 kilos. I'm pretty hungry at the moment. Just finished a day of fasting yesterday and it's time to have some breakfast. It's time for some bacon and eggs. Let's get it. We smashed that breakfast big time, but I just want to explain to you what my thought process is and the way I'm going to attack this 51-week challenge of losing 75 big ones and make sure that I can be the best version of myself. And the number one key to losing this weight is probably my diet. And the last couple of years have definitely been a bit rough, but yeah, I have been morbidly obese, or obese you would say, in the last 10 to 15 years, around that mark, probably more pushing 15. Last time I remember weighing around 100 to 110 was in my early 20s, so it's been a long time. But the diet is really important. It's about 80% of the work. So I have explained in a previous video that I have become a little bit insulin resistant, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge to get that under control, and I feel like it's already working. The ketosis through the carnivore diet that I'll be using is working faster than I expected, because I'm also implementing fasting days as well to speed run, so to speak, my ketosis and my fat adaptation. And with the carnivore diet and fasting days for the month of January and February, we're going to see how it feels. I'm going to have 2 to 3 fasting days in terms of low calorie days, so I don't lose the lean muscle mass that I'm trying to keep and build upon, because the last thing I want is saggy skin, and I'm trying to minimize that as much as possible, and prevent surgery if possible, because surgery in Australia is just way expensive at the moment. But carnivore diet, pretty straightforward. I'm not going to be tracking my calories whatsoever. I have a general consensus of an understanding of how much to eat per day, and my diet is going to be pretty restrictive, but I will have a cheat meal every time I lose about 5 kilos. So there's always something to look forward to. And I think it's really important to reflect in terms of, why am I doing this restrictive diet and why am I pushing myself to the limit to do so? Anyways, it's going to be the BBEM diet, so beef, bacon, eggs, milk diet, so to speak. And I am going to implement probably a little cheese in terms of seeing how I feel with the current fat store levels that I do have, and see how my body adapts and uses that fuel in my body to basically fuel my gym sessions, my day-to-day, and my basketball routine. Ketosis has definitely been a challenge in terms of getting adapted properly, but I feel like it's nearly there. Probably just need another week. I do have those symptoms a little bit in terms of like a sneeze and a bit of a runny nose and stuff like that, but that's pretty much all behind me now. I just get the sniffles here or there until I adapt properly, but I feel like that's going to be another week. So ketosis adaptation has happened pretty quickly thanks to fasting as well and the carnivore diet. So it's probably one of the main reasons people do carnivore diet in the first place. But yeah, basically nearly 0 carbs. The only carbs that I'll be having is from my coffee beans and my milk, and maybe a little bit of spices here or there on my steaks if the salt and pepper's not going to cut it. But nevertheless, probably going to explain my gym routine now. So I'm just going to do 3 to 4 days a week at the gym, see how I feel on the 4th day. But yeah, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays I'll be going to the gym. Mondays is going to be, I believe it's arms and shoulders, Wednesday is leg day and Friday is chest and back. And then we got basketball sessions and training on Saturday and Sunday. Not going to implement swimming just yet. Probably going to implement that in February once I get adapted properly, because I remember the last time I did the carnivore diet and I pretty much got into the pool after a leg day session, and because I wasn't adapted properly, I pretty much pulled both of my calf muscles in the pool. So that was absolutely disgusting when that happened. Your right one and then your left one trying to compensate, and you pull the next one. So let me know how that feels for you guys if you ever pulled your calf muscles in the swimming pool. Man, that leg day session was still vivid in my memory. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. I'll explain the exercises with a couple of clippets and a bit of B-roll, but yeah, I'll be basically doing 4 to 5 exercises with 3 working sets and 1 warm-up set, and it'll range from 8 to 12 reps depending on the weight. Right now I'm only going about 80% of what I normally do, because I just want to make sure I adapt properly, and hopefully I can go a bit harder next week and then build up from there the following week, because it takes a while for your body to adjust. But your body's a wonderful tool, and if you treat it like a temple, then it will do wonderful things for you in the long term. So that's what I'm trying to do. And walking and basketball is probably the next thing, in terms of I'm not going to be too full on with my basketball, going up there in age in terms of I'm 35. Right now I'm not trying to do anything too explosive, just testing here or there. Just really worried about my joints in general. You don't know how much damage you're doing to them till it's basically too late, when your joints are pretty much on the way out. But I feel like my body is strong. I feel like it's something that I'm not worried about too much, but I'm just doing a bit of preventative maintenance, if you will. So I don't want to make sure that if I am doing very well and then, one of my joints gives out in my knees or in my shoulders or anywhere in my body, even probably the back's probably the worst thing, then, my weight loss journey is going to be halted a lot. And I really want to reach my goal at the end of this year. Low calorie days, and the times I'm counting it is on my fasting days or low calorie days. It's really important in the carnivore diet to really understand why you're doing it. And I see a lot of people on the YouTubes or online when it comes to like Jordan Peterson, for example, had a pretty big autoimmune disorder with his daughter as well, and he was able to clear all that up just with beef, essentially. People seem to think that beef is really bad for you, and this is more like a learning curve for me to prove that. I think in the back of my mind, I think beef is like one of the best superfoods that you can have, next to eggs as well, the most nutrient dense foods that you can have to really fuel and adapt your body to perform. And there's a lot of these restrictive diets out there, from vegan, carnivore, keto, paleo, but carnivore is probably the most restrictive out of all of them. So I feel like it's just one of those things where you have to really push yourself to see what you're capable of. And I do feel like I'm on a timer. Going to be hitting 35 next month, so we're gonna see how that goes. But right now I'm not going to be doing any sort of basketball jump training or anything like that, probably till I get to a lower weight and when I feel like my joints and my body has a strong foundation. So probably lose another maybe 10 to 20 kilos maybe before I start doing any sort of jump training whatsoever, and any sort of explosive unilateral movements or plyometrics, because I don't know how much damage I've done over the last 10 years with me being at this weight, sort of around the 180 to 200 kilo range, so I'm gonna make sure I do this right. And if I'm able to dunk the basketball, I think I'll give myself the minimum goal of dunking a tennis ball and then working my way up from there. So I'll be pretty happy if I can do that by the end of 2025. But I feel like it's just one of those things where you just have to live in the moment and make sure you're fully present day to day, because a lot of people, including myself, is been on autopilot for quite a while, and right now it's just I need to focus on me and make sure I become a better version of myself every day. And I think that's what 2025 is going to teach me. And I want you guys to make sure to hold me accountable and, just drop in every now and again. If even if it's through a like, subscribe, or even a comment, it's just like, I appreciate anyone that tunes into my journey. And right now I'm feeling really awesome about my weigh-in because I've lost 4 kilos in a week. And I think half of that's water weight, let's be honest. Kind of really fast forwarded my carnivore fasting adaptation, and I feel like I'm 80% there, just got to get the other 20% over. But 4 kilos in 1 week is really big progress. I'm really happy and proud of myself for doing that. And it was a bit rough the first couple of days, but after that my body started shifting and I could feel the energy levels coming back. So yeah, we're going to see how we go for the rest of the month of January. I think the goal is to get under 180. I think that's a feasible goal for me, because I am going to lose a bit more weight in the early stages with the water weight and stuff like that. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome month indeed. And if I can lose 10 kilos in 1 month, essentially, can't ask for any more than that, and that will be a really good jump start to losing the 75, and it gives me a bit more time, or not time, a bit more leeway for the later months of the year where it starts to get more challenging. But I'm thankful that you guys have tuned in, and I appreciate all the support and comments that you guys have given me. And I think it's been long enough where I have been big, and I think it's about time that I should be sexy and handsome like all the grandmas tell me. Anyways, this is Chris Strider. I hope you guys have a wonderful time, and make sure you tell your family that you love them and you really appreciate them, because I think my new motto for this year is make sure that you're grateful for the past so that you can appreciate the present, so you can stride for the future. Anyways, this is Chris Strider. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I guess I'll see you in my next video. See you in week 2. See you later.